Good afternoon, people. Hope everybody is having a super duper afternoon. You must excuse the fact that I always have sunglasses on, especially when I'm out and about in the car. Number one, it's easier for me to do videos in the car because it's the only place that I get any peace and quiet when the kids are inside. And secondly, I have hay fever. So even if it's not sunny, because like if you have the blowers on or the windows open or anything in the car, anybody with hay fever will know. It's just an absolute nightmare. So I do apologise for that. But I'm not going to talk about hay fever today, as frustrating and as annoying as hay fever is. I might do that another day. Today I want to talk about a subject that is probably, in my experience, the most talked about and controversial in a way issue when it comes to home education and homeschooling. So I'm going to take it on today. I'm feeling brave. I'm going to take it on the chin. I'm going to go in strong. And we're going to talk about the huge, great, big, massive pink elephant with yellow spots on in the room. Can you guess what it is? Socialisation. I said it. That's the word. Socialisation. We're all thinking it. We all worry about it. Everybody that we meet worries about it for us. Everybody wonders how, when you home educate, how on earth is your child going to be able to communicate ever with another human being on this planet? So this is basically my take on it. If you saw my last video about the truth bombs about home education, you'll know that I said in that video that I'm always going to try and be really honest about the challenges that I've personally faced. And I think that's important so that we give everybody, the truth, and they can then make an informed decision as to whether home education will be right for their family. And I also think it's important for those just starting out or who are quite early into their home education journey, if they are struggling a little bit, so that they can put social media on and see another family and think, oh, actually, it can be quite difficult. It doesn't all come at once, and I don't feel quite as much on my own now. So my take on the socialisation is like this, and I've used an analogy for it because for me that's a lot easier to kind of explain in a quicker manner. Okay, so over here we've got family A, and family A have got a shape. It could be a square, it could be a circle, it could be a star, it could be spiky smooth, whatever, and they want to paint that shape, and they've got a big pot of paint, and they drop the shape in the paint and it straight away gets covered, and they lift it out and it's a lovely shade of blue or pink or whatever colour they want to paint it, and they think, great stuff, job done, shape's painted. Over here we've got family B, and family B have got a shape, and theirs is again a square, a circle, a star, whatever that shape may be, and they also want to paint the shape, and they want to paint it the same colour as family A, but they don't really want to just drop it in the paint. They've decided that they're maybe going to go about it a different way, and they're maybe going to find something to put the paint on the shape with. So they have a look around the house and they have a look at different things available and different tools available, and they eventually find a brush, and they get the brush and they paint the shape, and once it's all done, family A and family B meet and they show each other their shapes, and they're both absolutely perfect, and they're both coloured in just the right colour, and everything's good. Now, obviously, the only difference is that it took family B a lot longer to achieve that than it took family A, because they went about it in a slightly different way. And to me, that's very much like home education. Yes, arguably, it is easier for children maybe who go to school, who are put in a classroom full of other children of their same age, and they're with those children all the time, every single day, day in, day out. It doesn't mean that they're necessarily going to make friends with all those children and be really close friends with them. They're probably going to speak to a lot of them and seek out close friends, and they're probably who they're going to stick with. Whereas for home educated children, although they're not put in that situation, they're not kind of dropped in the paint for that instant fix, there are a lot of ways that you can build those friendships for your children, but it does just take a lot more work. You know, you do have to look about what's available, you have to look at what interest your children's got, what's available in your area. And you do have to work it a bit more, and it doesn't all come at once. You know, it took us a good year or two to kind of get into our stride with it, find some meetups that the kids enjoyed, meet families who were really like-minded, and, you know, looking back now, like, it wasn't easy, you know, putting yourself out there, you're joining Facebook groups, you're turning up to meetups and you don't know anybody, you're trying to be positive for the kids because you want to put across a good vibe to them, you know, and it can be really daunting, and it can be quite difficult to just, as I say, find your rhythm and find your tribe and find what you're comfortable with. But genuinely, you know, again, you've got to remember when you watch social media pages, if you're just starting out with home education, some of those families might have been home educating for 2, 3, 5, 10 years. You know, so when they're saying that they've got this really good network of friends and really good network of people, and their children have got all these, you know, social activities, they haven't just come to their door. You know, they have had to work for it. They've had to look at what resources they've got around them, you know, and inevitably, you know, a family who send their children to school and a family who home educate, both children are going to be well-rounded, both children are going to have friends, both children are going to have social skills. They're just going to develop them in a slightly different way. So to kind of, you know, address the social aspect for me, yes, it definitely can be challenging at first. Yes, you do have to work for it. Obviously, you can look at like after school groups and send home educated children can still go to like dance classes, Lego clubs, gymnastics, sports classes, you know, and they may well make friends with children who are at school, but that's fine, you know. But honestly, genuinely for me, the socialisation aspect hasn't probably been any more difficult than any other aspect in home education. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of food for thought today about that one.